Along was started in 2003, and our first program then was called SOARS, A Story of a Rape Survivor. And that program is based on Scheherazade documenting my healing process as a rape survivor. And because of the positive success of that program, we really wanted to do a program for teen girls because they're the most at-risk population, but they have the least resources.
From the neighborhood I live in, conflict is frequent. So really it's about not attacking it, but fixing yourself before you try and fix the situation.
Well, one of the biggest things I think I've gotten from both programs is the role of the arts as both a form of activism and advocacy. Usually there's an underattendance of men and minorities or people of color at sexual assault awareness events on college campuses, let's say. So we tend to have higher rates of both men and people of color. And I think it's this unique blend of like using the arts and using entertainment to talk about a really, really difficult issue. I think the combination of making art and using art to heal enables them to actually become advocates in a whole new way that they didn't even know was going to happen when they signed up for it.
Some of the girls, you see them really kind of struggling with the materials and trying to figure out, okay, how do I use this camera to say something? Or like this year, which is something totally new, this concept of using shoes to communicate something. How do I own this and like make this a way that I can communicate something? And then when they actually have the show, I feel like you really see them take it on as something that they own. And
we went to an art therapy studio, and it was ran by this man named Dan, and he was talking, and like the whole time I had this image in my head of a butterfly, but like I didn't really know if I wanted to paint that, and it was in my head the whole time, and I had a vision that, like I just had this feeling that I was not gonna leave without unless I painted that paint. The bottom part is dark, very, very dark. Most of the colors are dark, and then as it gets bigger, the colors get lighter. And it's a human, but it has transparent wings, so it's a butterfly trying to get out of the negative and reach the positive.
We do lots of workshops with them in terms of sexual violence prevention, dating violence, sex education, in terms of learning about their anatomy and body. But we also provide them with tools in terms of self-care. We go to yoga studios, we have art therapy workshops. Being a peer educator is a really big deal, but more importantly to take care of yourself before you go out and help anybody else. 60% of the students on the survey that we took before entering the program said that they're most likely to see a friend for help if they were experiencing sexual assault. And so this program trains the teenagers themselves to be sexual assault advocates in the community.
The most important thing that I have taken from this program is like sisterhood, like sticking together as one and learning how to make change, but together.
during the interviews, when we interviewed the girls this year, those were the moments where you were like, okay, so something about this program is working, because like Quay and Lanisha, they would sit down with the girls if the girls would say something maybe in the interviews, and it'd be, instead of me or Ms. Tillett saying something to the girls, it would be Quay or Lanisha, and they'd say, you know what, something I really learned last year is that what happened to you isn't your fault. And you know, where I really learned that you can open up and trust people, and just like seeing them do that is just really meaningful, and you just feel like what you're doing has an impact.
When the girls actually finally learn to trust each other and like actually make this bond over like a 2-week period of time or a 3-week period of time. And once the showcase come, you actually see how close they are, because they actually don't want to leave the program.
We would like to create a program for boys, and a program in which we educate boys to be peer leaders around sexual violence, dating violence, sexual harassment, called a Male Allies program. And we would like to expand Girlfriends into a longer summer project. It's 3 weeks now, so whether it's a month or 6 weeks is something we're interested in. And also creating a curriculum that people can use throughout the country.
Yeah, and giving people the tools
Yeah.
to do it in their own communities or neighborhoods is important for us. Using like this idea of art, education, advocacy, and healing, you know, as a curriculum.
Thank you so much, because it really, I would say, changed me.
I would say you have helped me to become a bigger person and help other people, and I found who I really was. Like at first, before this program, I really didn't didn't have time for myself. So yeah.
1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Sisters!